Hello, everybody, and welcome to the top 5 new comics for August 31st and September 1st of 2021. I'm, as always, Chris, and we got a cool slate of books this week. Hey, it's September. Like, it's going to be September. Isn't that weird? I don't know. I think that's weird. Time. It's a thing. So let's start, everybody, with Infinite Frontier number 5. This is written by Joshua Williams with art by Paul Pelletier and Xermonico. I have just loved this series. It's been so much fun. There's so many great moments throughout it. I think Joshua Williams has just done a phenomenal job of balancing multiple story arcs and building towards something inside the DC universe. I love it, and we're bringing back a big bad. I don't think it's a secret at this point. We announced a new series spinning out of this, and Darkseid is back, and he's evil and stuff. You all know that, right? Like, that's not a secret. But I really love this series, and I've become a fan of Joshua Williamson. I mean, he's really stepped up his game in the past since Infinite Frontier started, and it's got me really excited for some of the stuff he's announced recently. So check this series out. It's really cool. After that, we got Batman Superman 2021 Annual Number 1. This is written by Luen Yang with art by Paul Pelletier. So, I mean, a million times over, I've said Batman Superman since Luen Yang took over has been phenomenal. It is phenomenal. It's awesome. This annual is actually going to be the epilogue to his Archive of Worlds story. So this is going to be the final issue in that saga that he's told. That's just made me fall in love with this book. And so if you haven't read any of the other stuff, this is probably a terrible place to start. But after this, he's going to go into the final story arc for the series, which, very sad, the series is going away because he's been just demolishing it on it. But I'm stoked. It's an oversized issue, epilogue to his story. Hopefully we'll get some details on what the next story will be for this. And hell yeah, more Batman Superman. After that, I've got Aquaman 80th Anniversary 100-page super spectacular number 1. This is written by everybody with art by everybody. It'll take me forever to go through every name and every person on this book. But, I mean, some of the big ones, I guess we'll mention some of the big people. Jeff Johns is on here. Paul Pelletier is on here. Dan Jurgens on here. Steve Epting's on here. Dan Waters is on here. Miguel Mendonca is on here. The list goes on forever. So these 100-page spectaculars they've been doing for the 80th anniversaries have been a lot of fun. Bringing back some of the best story or some of the best creators to tell stories about these characters again. And I love Aquaman. He's one of my favorite DC characters, and just to have him back in a book and get something is huge for me because we haven't seen anything with Arthur in a long time. Outside of Justice League and stuff like that. I'm more talking about solo stuff. And it looks like we're not going to get anything with just Arthur for a while, so this is probably going to hold me over until that team-up book we get. And yeah, I mean, 80 years of Aquaman. I mean, y'all thought he was a joke. He ain't a joke. Love me some Aquaman. Excited to get my hands on this. After that, we've got Dark Ages number 1. This is written by Tom Taylor with art by Art-Iban Coello. So this book has been long in the run. So this was supposed to come out actually, it was announced pre-COVID. And when I say that, I mean anyone in the States. Pre-COVID for me and for most of us in the States is basically when lockdown started. So February, March, April 2020. Or was it 2019? I can't. Time is a thing that doesn't exist anymore. But anyways, around that time we started doing shutdowns. This book was announced, and we all got really excited for it. Tom Taylor is the king of the alternate universe, especially the dark dystopian alternate universe. And for him to come over to Marvel and do something like that was just awesome, and we couldn't wait. And now, finally, like a year or two later, we're gonna get this fucking book. I'm really excited for it. I mean, basically, the supervillains win, the lights go out, and everybody has to adapt. And we've got all these cool different versions of characters. Miles plays a big part in the story, which is obviously a big one for me because I love me some Miles Morales. Iron Man's in there somewhere, the whole Marvel universe. And I'm so excited. And dude, Art-Iban Coello, the art he's shown for this book so far is just holy crap. There's been a couple moments this past year where I just look at what some of these guys are doing and gals are doing, and I can't believe that this is what the work we're getting. And I don't know if that's because of all the extra time due to COVID. Hopefully not. Hopefully it just means that people are really just leveling up and getting better and better, because if this is what he's going to keep bringing to the game, then he has a fan of me every time. But I'm super excited for this book. Everybody should check it out. We're going to end with Monster Kill Squad number 1. This is written by Christos Gage with art by Art-Tomas Giorello. So first and foremost, every time I do this, I put in this little thing. This is a Bad Idea comic. I know Bad Idea comics can be tough to find. So in the show notes down below, you will see links to both Bad Idea's website, which will give you an idea if you have a local comic shop somewhere in your general area that sells Bad Idea comics. But I also add a link to the store that I go to order my Bad Idea comics, because nobody in my area sells Bad Idea comics. And I had a really good time with this shop, Comics on the Green, down in Scranton, Pennsylvania. And they've been really good about getting me the books. So that aside, Monster Kill Squad. Government organization set to kill monsters. We're talking witches. We're talking vampires. We're talking demons. Yes. 100 times yes. It just sounds like a cool story. I've always been like on kind of the tertiary cryptozoology bandwagon. I'm not going to say I'm a huge fan of it. I just always like the idea of it. And you add in that little hint of like the government starts a unit to fight against these, and it just adds a little spice that goes right up my alley. When you start adding in like geopolitical ramifications and how people in government deal with these kinds of things, there's something about it there that just right up my alley. So I think this book's gonna be awesome. And I'm not familiar with the artist, but the pages we've seen, his work looks phenomenal. So hopefully that's what we can expect from the book throughout the series. And Christos Gage is really just an underrated writer all around. He's done a lot of cool stuff at Marvel that I don't want to insult the man, but while it's not like the stuff we rave about, is always when his name pops up, I check it out, and he usually does some cool stuff. He's just an underrated guy, and he's kind of Joshua Williamson during Flash, if that makes sense, where like something is going to break for him and he's going to become more of a household name. Yeah, hopefully it's this book, because this book looks awesome. Everybody should be checking it out. So that's all, everybody. That's our top 5. Cool stuff. Remember, everybody, you can check out the podcast, Fortress Comic News, that I host every week. This week we have 2 episodes again. We're going to talk to Raylan Grant, who did a book called Suicide Jockeys and has done work in Hollywood and other stuff. Really cool guy. I had a fun time sitting down with him. And speaking of Bad Idea, we're going to talk with Dinesh, one of the co-publishers of Bad Idea Comics, about what's going on over there and, what's the future for them and all this other fun stuff that hopefully we get some good knowledge out of him. So check that show out. That's Fortress of Comic News. You can also find those interviews right here on the YouTube channel as well, if you prefer that method. And so everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all here next week.